It's February. Thank God it's February. The world's a better place because you were here to join us. My name is Matt Brown. I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it is a Tuesday, the 3rd of February, 2026. And we've had a weekend to remember, from Grammy stuff to Epstein file stuff to legal stuff, Beatles stuff, sports stuff. And we have to talk about every single one of these things. And we're going to do that right now here on the Tweet Cap. This is your Tweet Cap, where we talk about what is trending across the worlds of sports, news, entertainment, and culture. And we are so glad to have each and every single one of you here to join us. And before we do that, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding this show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X and Twitter at ProdConvoPod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations, and Facebook at Productive Conversations. We're also on TikTok at ProdConvoPod, excuse me. And yeah, so it's a Super Bowl week. At the end of this week, a week from today, we'll know who wins the championship in football, the NFL. So on top of our regularly scheduled tweet caps, right now, this Tuesday the 3rd, and then later this week, Friday the 6th, excuse me, we will also have our Super Bowl preview released for each and every single one of you on Friday as well. So exciting stuff between the Seahawks and the Patriots, and we'll break down who we think is going to be your champion in the National Football League. So nice and easy week, just a Tweet Cap Tuesday, NFL Super Bowl preview on Friday, and another Tweet Cap on Friday. So with that, let's get ready to talk about what was going on in the world over the past few days. Ryan, Allison, and Jose are all here to do that with me. Hello, everybody. What the hell is going on?
Not much, Matt. Can't complain because I got heat back, so I'm just trying to be happy. But not much is going on since last we spoke.
Well, we've definitely missed you. Missed you a lot, Ryan.
Happy to
And
be back.
yeah, it's great to see you. And Allison and Jose, it's great to see you all too. Great job last week. And how's everybody else doing? What else was going on in this world of yours? Was that everybody have a hunker down, safe weekend?
I did a bunch of apartment showings. I think we had
Mhm.
6 in one day, which is epic.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we submitted our application today for one. So we find
Nice.
out by end of the day tomorrow if
Mhm.
we indeed got the apartment. So fingers crossed for me, we could get out of this toxic roommate situation and call it a day.
We
Yeah.
definitely want to start off February on the right foot, and that'd be a great one. As we will all universally agree that January 2026 was just a preview. No, it wasn't. It was a month that didn't count.
Yeah, that
A
was our mulligan for this year.
obituary, not obituary, not
Prologue.
epilogue, prologue, if you will. Not setting up for doom and gloom of 26, but it's just you had to go through it, and now the year starts.
That's right. Our mulligan. We get one every year. That was our mulligan. We can pretend it didn't happen.
And it's
Works.
Mexico month, so y'all will in Mexico at the end of the month. So
Ooh,
hopefully it's
fun.
Mexico end of month and then move into a new apartment beginning of March.
I mean,
Sounds like
that's
a
a
great deal.
good way to start off the year, I would say.
Excellent stuff indeed. Great work. And let's speak that into existence for Allison for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things when I was on, it was Friday morning, leaving the grocery store, getting food I don't like but I have to eat. I look at my phone, and I literally scream, "What the fuck?" right in front of the plants that they have over there. I was absolutely in shock and legitimately sad to see that the great Catherine O'Hara passed away over the weekend. She passed away on January 30th at the age of 71, a comedic genius from Canada. She rose to fame with STV and became a beloved mom in Home Alone. and charmed audiences worldwide as the unforgettable Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek, earning critical acclaim and Emmy Awards. Her work in Beetlejuice, Christopher Guest films, and countless other roles showcase what incredible range, sharp wit, and warmth she brought. Catherine Reeves is behind her husband, Bo Welch, a production designer, and their sons. She made us laugh, made us feel, and her legacy will continue to bring joy to generations to come. May she rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, literally, when I saw this, she's one of the best ever. And I was glad to see the flowers she was getting. And yeah, between her and Diane Lane, sorry, not Diane Lane, I apologize, no. Between her and Diane Keaton, we are losing our queens. And especially in a world where we feel Hollywood and celebrity is very superficial. Those two were as genuine as it gets, and the world is definitely a worse place without them. But back to Catherine O'Hara, that was I was very, very upset about that and bummed. Because like they're right. She learned how to stay relevant from the early 80s all the way till the very end, having a big part in the studio, which is a big hit on Apple. And I mean, only special people could do that. You could really think of an iconic role for 5 decades, as mentioned. 80s Beetlejuice, 90s Home Alone, and the voice of the girl from Nightmare Before Christmas. 2000s was Christopher Guest's films, as mentioned.
Stock Lock and I forget the name of the night before.
Yeah.
But Paul Rubens was one of the other voices of that trio, and he's also, no longer with us.
Insane. And then yeah, then the Schitt's Creek in the 2020s and the studio in Schitt's Creek in 2010, studio in 2020s. Yeah, that is a true bummer. But her work will never, ever go away.
Yeah. I mean, there's still not a ton out about what happened. It's just following a brief illness. It seems like she has or had some sort of heart condition, which may or may not have been related to what happened. But yeah, it's definitely a sad, for me anyway, a very sad moment because she was someone who was just in so many very, very funny things. There's very few people I can think of who are as consistently funny or comedic actress as Catherine O'Hara. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Again, Schitt's Creek, I will just say, I know that was toward the end of her career, but man, what a way to go out because that show went absolutely bananas. And she was a huge, huge part of that. Probably her and was it Dan Levy? The
Yep.
two of them probably the most iconic duo from that show. So,
And such a great cast of all-star Canadians too.
oh yeah, no. I mean the whole cast was great, but I mean to stand out like that in
Yeah,
that cast at her age after the career she'd already had, just really, really good stuff.
absolutely. And one just I really love this movie called After Hours, where
Mhm.
she had a small but significant role in that movie. That was great too. And yeah, you just every time you saw her, you brought joy. And my favorite show in this world is Curb Your Enthusiasm. And she had an amazing guest spot in one of the season premieres as even though yes, the role doesn't age well as Marty Funkhauser's autistic sister, but she was just so damn good in it, and we're gonna let that go if that bothered you because it was just a funny role and stuff.
If it bothers you, don't watch it.
Yeah,
Easy
right.
peasy.
Easy peasy indeed. But that was definitely a shocker and bummer to start the year. But there's other things to at least keep our minds off of the loss of a special person. And that actually includes something significant, I think, and yet barely talked about. When it's nighttime, there's something called the moon that you usually see. Don't always see it, but the
Mhm.
moon is always seen at night, right?
Yeah. Well, it's out anyway.
Sometimes
Sometimes it's
during
not
the
out.
day too, right?
Yes, you can see
Yeah.
the moon in the daytime as well.
Sometimes, at least, yeah.
Yes. But did you know we're going back to the moon?
I did. I literally just today, before I even knew the rundown for the show, saw. I forget the name of the little mission. They have a name and everything.
Artemis 2, that's the program
Yeah.
they're doing, the Artemis program.
Yeah.
And yes, we're doing our first crewed flight to the moon in over 50 years. While it was originally hoped the launch might happen this week, recent updates indicate it's scheduled for no earlier than this Sunday, the 8th. NASA currently is in the middle of a, quote, wet dress rehearsal that happened actually today on
Okay.
the time of this recording, Monday. And at least by the end of the month, we will go to the moon. So
Whose
what's
rocket is it?
happening is NASA's.
Well, that's my question was. I know SpaceX and NASA have been working
Oh yeah,
closely.
it's a NASA run spaceship. But
Okay.
yeah, we are going to the moon. Um, we will actually be orbiting the moon, but it's a 10-day mission. We're not going to be landing on it. The four-person crew includes astronauts Reed Wiseman, Richard Glover, Christina Koch. I apologize if it's Koch or Koch, and then Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. And yeah, they're going to the moon. They're going to go orbit the moon, check out what's going on there. Actually go into orbit in places that I guess, quote, we've never seen before.
Okay.
Literal dark side of the moon. And then
Mm.
they'll come back. And then 2027, they're actually planning, as of now in 2027, to land on the moon for an extended period of time to do research and also see if there's possible to have if it's possible to keep humans in space for an extended period of time. Not going to colonize the moon, at least for now, but they do plan, at least in 2027 for now, to actually land on the freaking moon.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. So I've said this and I mean this.
And I just
I'm
want to say, if this doesn't happen, if they don't launch this week, the backup is for early March or April if
Yeah,
it's delayed.
yeah.
Watch it be
No,
delayed, but still.
I mean, it could be delayed, but even still, this is definitely a huge story that no one is talking about, for being completely honest.
Yeah.
I saw it literally today, like 20 minutes before you told us that we were going to talk about it. And so my thing is, I'm definitely on the home team, right? I don't like the idea of going to space. I think it's scary. We've talked about that on the show. But I do think it's cool that they're testing now to see if people can live like for real in space, because we've never really done that. Like we go, you do your thing, you collect some stuff, and then you come back and you do your research, right? Like that's always how it's been for the moon. And then everywhere else we haven't even sent people. So the idea that we could live in space someday, be it on ships or on a planet that isn't ours, that has different gravity and whatnot, has always kind of been science fiction. So
Yeah.
it's cool that we're testing it, right? Because there are a lot of things that gravity is helpful for, right? And like, control of the human body being one of them. There's no guarantee that we could just live out in, somewhere else in the solar system, even though that's kind of like low key all of the Silicon Valley people's plan. So it's good that we're testing it. And then if it goes well, I hope we go one further and see if we can't get some folks to, Mars or whatever. That would be cool to see that in our lifetime, my opinion. Won't be me. I'm not going. But it'd be cool to watch other people do.
You know what I'm most intrigued about from this is I just want to see the pictures. I'm most excited for the pictures we're gonna get. The things
Well,
that are
yeah.
gonna go viral, the things that are gonna get memed. I'm excited to see what's going on there.
Well, yeah, and if it's truly a part we've never seen before, then it should look somewhat different. Like, obviously, it won't be completely different, but it'll, you know, have some sort of different. It won't look exactly like the same pictures we've seen over and over again with different astronauts.
Yeah, and like I said, literal dark side of the moon, and we'll see what conspiracies come out of it. We'll
Hmm.
see the hullabaloo, but at the end of the day, even if I think unofficially one of the reasons why they've launched this is because China was interested to go on the moon, and they straight up want to beat them to it. And from what
Yeah.
I gather, that
Yeah.
they are in the lead there. So I don't know if this would happen if China didn't want it to get involved because it is expensive and there are people saying, "Oh, why are you going to the moon when there's problems down here?" Well, too bad. Well, there's always going to be problems down here, and no one's going to stop them for at least a long time. So might as well at least see the backup plan if something goes
Why
in.
is this news?
Why is
Because we're
it
going to the
news?
goddamn moon. That's why.
No,
it's
we're going around the fucking moon. We're not going to the
Yeah,
Well,
moon.
2027
next year
we're
we're
going
going
to
to the
the
moon,
moon.
so we have to take baby steps.
You're doing, and then you're doing it on Super Bowl weekend. Like anybody gives a shit. Like we're going around
Well,
the
they're
moon, guys.
launching,
It's before Super Bowl.
and it
weekend.
takes, I think,
It's
4
supposed to go on
days.
Sunday. It's supposed to be Sunday. They're gonna launch. Nobody's gonna give a shit. The only way this is gonna be known is if we're having another fucking Apollo bullshit that
Well,
explodes.
hopefully we don't. But I do think that people, while they may not watch the actual rocket takeoff, they'll probably be interested in the moon for the 10 days that they're up
I wonder
there.
if you know what
Yeah.
I'm more. You know what makes me more interested? If there's a bet on one of those fucking sites we talk about, if the rocket's gonna blow up. I wonder how much you can put on that bad boy.
I would bet a lot of money that there is a bet on sites like PolyMarket or
I
Call
think maybe an underground one, but I don't think yet we've advertised death, the possibility of death, because I definitely would have seen it because I've been looking at those markets. No death. Maybe on one like secret underground market.
Never,
Hopefully,
or just in this case.
no, I've never seen
Okay.
actual death or
Interesting.
violence get
Yeah,
wagered on.
wasn't there like an
Traded on, I
invasion
should
wage?
say.
Gotcha.
Trade on, and if fucking Donald Trump is gonna invade Venezuela, what they thought there were gonna be no deaths coming out of that?
That's a
Because
fair
that's
point, I suppose.
that's since there's no word of violence in it. Yes, that's how they get away.
There's no
Because I could technically go into
But-
my neighbor's house and that's an invasion. Not that I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna do anything violent. I'm just going in.
Nobody's doing any violence if the spaceship explodes on his own goddamn self. That's not nobody put violence on that.
Real quick, by the way,
Well, I will not. I hope that there is no explosion on the 40th. You know, one thing that was barely talked about. It was the 40th anniversary of Challenger last week,
oof. Yeah.
and we don't need that again.
Sorry, just a real quick thing. I just looked this up because I was curious. China has never done a moonwalk.
I think that we're the only country who has.
Well, Russia too.
Russia's been on the moon.
I'm pretty sure Russia's been on the moon.
I do not think Russia
I'll
was
look
on
it
the
up.
moon. I see no fucking flag up in that motherfucker over there.
I know Mr. Turchik would have told us. Russia has
Oh, no.
landed uncrewed spacecraft.
Yeah, no,
on
they
the
were the
moon.
first human spacewalk, but they've never landed humans on the moon. Look at that.
So there we go.
Okay.
Another reason
So they
why
beat
the
us to
countries are there.
space in general, but we beat them to the moon. And now we're going to make sure that we beat China.
To the moon.
I guess we've already beat China, but you know what I mean. Now, whoever can figure out how to do one of Elon's, or I guess Bezos has them too, those rockets that like take off and land. If someone can figure out round trip, you take off from Texas or whatever, Florida, you go to the moon, you hang out for a while, you hop back in the rocket, you take off again from the moon, and you land back in the United States, or I guess whatever other country. Whoever can figure that out is basically going to own one of probably the most profitable industries that'll ever be created, because every celebrity and their mom's going to go. And then as they get the technology down, they're going to be able to send regular people. And it's just going to be, it's going to be really, really big, expensive, but big business.
It'll
If
be
anyone can figure
Ozempic,
it out.
but with spaceships.
Yeah, I would say Ozempic probably has more actual benefits down to society, but you get a lot of money if you can figure out how to get people to space and back same rocket. Like land it, you don't have to like fall out of the sky like we used to do or whatever.
Well, I look forward to seeing the pictures. Like I said, I think it takes 4 days to get to the moon from Earth.
4 or 5, yeah.
So we'll at least see when we talk again. If they launch Sunday, by Thursday, what's going on there?
We'll see.
That will be an ultimate live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the live stream. How can you have a bigger live stream than going to see the moon's surface? Where in 2026, I can look down on a camera in 4K and there's still that American flag, but I think it actually fell down the one Neil Armstrong.
Oh no! How did it fall down? There's no wind in space.
I don't know. I don't
Did we
get
knock it down?
the conspiracy part of it, but I think they think it fell down. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't want to get into that part. But anyways, the stuff that was left back in the late 60s and yeah, the moon. Maybe we see an alien. I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, maybe. Well, who knows? We won't know until we get there. I suppose that's the real question. But
So
yeah,
Jose, will you be at least a little slightly more interested next weekend if they
I
once
give
they get in
two
orbit?
shits. Two shits. I'll be real honest with you. We're not even going landing on the shit. We're going around it.
When
yeah, we gotta.
when we're back a year from now.
You know, they put rockets, empty rockets, to just take photos and shit around the moon already. Why can't they just do that? Who gives a shit? There's people in the goddamn spaceship.
Well, again, like I said, what they're testing now, I think more than anything, is how people can live in space. Can they are is it well you can you stay healthy while living in space? Can you does your body do all your bodily functions still work in space? No, none of these things have ever been tested. And yet we all talk about how humanity is going to move to the stars at some point. And we've never even learned if we can do that.
In the stars.
Right, exactly.
Miles away.
This song slaps.
Oh man. I like the stuff. Anyways, I do have to do an awkward transition from here.
Yeah.
Because the other big thing that happened over the weekend, we'll mention him a couple times, but from now on, when talked about the disgraced, horrible human being known as Jeffrey Epstein, call him Jeff, and moving forward, and we've had some Jeff files get more Jeff files get released to the public. So over the weekend, a lot of people are asking the same question. What came out in Epstein files that dropped on Friday? It wasn't necessarily a massive bombshell, but a lot of uncomfortable confirmations. So Department of Justice released millions more of pages of documents related to Epstein. This included emails, contact lists, investigative materials to show how wide Epstein's network was, which included politicians, billionaires, celebrities, and powerful figures across multiple industries. Now, some of the things that we saw Russell Wilson's name get put into this. New York Giants owner Steve Tisch. More Bill Gates stuff. There's a story about how I guess he arranged with an adult Russian hooker that gave him, Jeff, and Bill Gates an STD, and to protect Bill Gates' partner to get the antibiotics to get rid of the STD. I guess he snuck it in their food like you're trying to sneak a pill for your dog in peanut butter, which is insane. We saw
and illegal.
Yeah, we saw more disgusting photos cropped out of alleged underage children and minors at the Epstein facilities, and yeah, more and more things that make you want to take a shower, or I don't even know, makes you feel dirty. Man, the one thing I would just wonder, just because a Giants fan, how does this affect the Giants? Steve Tisch, he was openly talking about, hey, I want you to sit up with adult women. Then he makes a statement, well, we talked about movies and philanthropies. And I guess they thought, well, as long as they talked about what they watched on Letterboxd, then they're okay. It's so weird. Oh, man. And I actually looked up I didn't hear about Epstein again till 6 years ago. I guess he was originally a physics teacher, then went into finance, and the reason why he opened this, the reason why he knew all these celebrities, all these powerful people, because he handled their books and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's where this all got misconstrued, got convicted, got arrested in 2006, convicted in 2008. And then
solicitation.
Yep. And then we know what happened there. Goes to jail, allegedly committed suicide. And then we're still seeing all this
Well, that
stuff.
was the second charge, I will say. He went to jail, got out, got arrested again, and then he was found dead in his cell.
And also, you just wonder, I think they said something, there's like 5 Empire State Buildings worth of evidence. I didn't go out of my way to look at it. There's just so much info you could get from the news sites. But I just like, okay, people are getting outed. People's names are coming. Now what's next? We saw former President Clinton actually say, release more. I haven't seen what Bill Gates said, but bro's legacy is getting destroyed. I mean, what else am I missing here?
Prince Andrew.
Prince
Or
Andrew,
Apparently, Mom
former Prince
Domney's
Andrew.
mom was a part of it.
There you go. She was mentioned too, which is nuts. No, I don't believe Mom Domney addressed that yet. They're just leaving the streets cold. But yeah, I saw people went to Gracie Mansion to protest him over that, which is
probably. So here's my thing with this. To be honest with you, I've gone in a complete circle, a full circle on the Jeff stuff, because at the very beginning I thought, honestly, I didn't believe any of it. Right? I thought it was all just conspiracy mumbo jumbo. Then stuff came out, a very clear cover up from this administration trying to slow roll putting out documents.
Oh, and the president got a nasty allegation to him too.
He got several from the FBI tip line, that they published. But so I was like, okay, maybe there's something here because of the way the administration is slow rolling this. And now we're here, and now we're seeing this. We're posting FBI tip stuff, and I'm not saying that being listed on an FBI tip site 150 times or whatever it was, describing some heinous stuff from the president and Jeff. I'm not, a lot of times smoke and fire go with one another. So I'm not saying it is or it isn't true, but we're publishing anyone who's ever taken a picture with him. Someone, again, a picture of like an 11-year-old Zoran Mamdani is, something people are protesting about. To me, we're going back into the circle of, at this point, we're just, if you knew Jeff Epstein, or, you know what I mean? Then there's a group of people who want you to be in prison. And that's not how this should have gone. We've left the realm of this being about justice for the women, the many women who have come forward saying they were attacked or trafficked by Jeff and Ghislaine. And so, to me, that's upsetting. I would say, and again, I've got no actual connection to any of the people involved or anything like that, but like, we're looking now, like, if you knew this guy, somebody wants you dead or in jail. And that's not helping any of the victims. What helps the victims is if we set aside all of the celebrities who are friends with a creep, because you could say that about anyone who is friends with Harvey Weinstein. You could say that about anybody who is friends with Diddy. Like, all of these people, celebrities have creepy friends. They do, because they're friends with other celebrities, and some celebrities are absolutely horrific people. But we should be focusing on what was done and by whom. And guess what? I'm going to say this as me. From what I saw, if that doesn't include the president, any of the presidents, then it doesn't include them. I don't want Bill Clinton or Donald Trump to get in trouble because they were a president and I do or don't like one or other politics. I want people who attacked folks, like the former Prince Andrew, who has been credibly linked to attacking folks. I want them to be held accountable. But guys like Andrew and like Jeff are getting the benefit of the doubt because anyone who's ever met this dude is being painted in the same brush when it's nonsensical. So
I agree. That is a bit unfair. Again, not defending.
No, you're right.
But like, I believe the Russell Wilson thing, for instance, and
right,
like
almost bought a plane and then said
almost,
no.
Yeah. Not today, Satan.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
I think there's obviously something different between him and the Bill Clinton stuff. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Bill Clinton stuff and the Bill Gates I was specifically thinking.
Right. Exactly.
By the way, at this moment,
we should talk about those separately, but we keep it sensationalized. Like, here's a famous person, here's Jeff, put it out in the news. And it's making it so everybody seems less guilty by association. And it's frankly become a politics thing. Because right now, the only people who are getting any sort of credible heat are the current president, the former president and his wife, and Bill Gates.
Yeah, they are getting
realistically. Those are the three getting the heat.
My man Steve Jobs was a part of that. Good stuff, Steve.
Yeah. It's just, to me, that, like, And again, none of that is because those people did anything more or less heinous than like former Prince Andrew. It's just they are political figures and people have issues with them, and so they're focusing on that. And that's not helping the women. We need to help the women who are alive. We need to avenge the women who aren't here anymore. And talking about, Russell Wilson, an 11-year-old Mamdani, like talking about these people is insane. It's not relevant. So put him to the side. It's okay that he looked at it's okay that he looked at an airplane, right? We don't have, that's not news.
Too bad Woody Johnson didn't get too into it. He got it. I don't think he didn't get the. What did they say about the Jets owner? I know he was mentioned, but not in a
Well, that's the other thing. I don't like the Jets
indictment
owner.
way.
Right. But I don't like the Jets owner. I'm still not rooting for them to go after this dude for knowing a creep. I want him to sell the team. I want him away from my New York Jets. But I want the women to have actual justice far more than I want that.
Excellent. I am on the same boat with you as that. And it's the last thing on here. The Clintons at this time agreed to testify in House Epstein investigation per the New York Times. This comes 2 days before the House was expected to vote to hold them
in contempt.
Yeah. So
as they should, by the way.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't know where we go from there, but we'll see. All I hope is, like Ryan says, get justice for those survivors. Okay. So now we are going to go transition to the Grammys. Grammys were on Sunday night. I did not watch the Grammys. I got everything I needed to from Twitter.
Mhm.
And first things first. One of the viral tweets was a tweet that was said at the Golden Globe Awards. A few years ago from the old host, Ricky Gervais.
Mhm.
People are very passionate about things, as it's a very tense time in the United States, as it usually always is, but it's not uncommon for a celebrity to express what they're passionate about and their views on things and what's going on in the world. And while one, you have the right to do that. It's your First Amendment right. As long as you're genuinely passionate for what you're saying, you know what you're saying, you're not following a trend, might as well use that platform. On the other hand, it comes off as preachy. It comes off as pretentious. It comes off as the rich people telling the not as rich people to do this for me because I feel it in the moment. So those two conflicting things together, when you have a prominent host like Ricky Gervais say, if you do win an award tonight, use it as a platform to Ricky Gervais, when he said at the Golden Globes, he said, quote, if you do win an award tonight, do not use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spend less time in school than Greta Thunberg.
That's true.
And quite frankly, I agree with Mr. Gervais. And there are still some celebrities who still did that, which includes Bad Bunny, said come at ice. And then Billie Eilish said something along the lines of, what about stolen land exactly, Ryan?
It's
It's
like
like
no one is
oh,
illegal on stolen land, was the direct quote. Obviously, in reference to both immigration enforcement and obviously colonization of the United States back at the founding of the country. So yeah, that was her direct quote was no one is illegal on stolen land.
All I will say to that, I'll say my first point. If you truly are passionate about your statement when receiving an award, practice what you preach. If that's the case, I mean, if Billie Eilish wanted to leave the country and just pursue something else, or wanted to, propose that, like, that's one thing I liked about Ellen DeGeneres. She actually stood on business. I don't like this country, so I'm gonna leave it.
That's
So
true.
I don't see Billie Eilish doing that or returning her award, but I digress there. And again, with Bad Bunny, who's very passionate, and even I agree with what he's saying, especially for somebody like him of Puerto Rican descent. It seems people of Hispanic heritage are targeted in these
Mhm.
ICE raids. just I'm sure he's aware that while it's a great thing to say, at the same time, understand, the other side to it too.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about that, and there's another. We're not talking about it on this show, but it actually really fits. And I don't like to quote this guy, but I'm going to. It's a comedian from HBO. You probably heard of him. His name's Bill Maher. We've talked about him before. I don't typically agree with Bill Maher. Or I shouldn't say that. That's not true. There's certain things I disagree with, but he had kind of a take on this, unrelated to the stuff going on, necessarily. It is like, I know celebrities mean well, and we thank them for having their heart in the right place, but just do you. Do what you do so well. Use your extraordinary talents for the noble cause of bringing relief from the problems that ribbons and pins can't fix. I know it's very important to you that you feel like you're making a difference. So let me assure you, you are making a difference. You're making independents vote for Republicans. That was his quote.
Sorry,
And he's
that's
right.
funny. I laughed at
No,
that.
I mean, he's right. That's
Yeah.
true. Again, the only pushback I would say is, again, you don't have to you don't have to say everything is great to love your country. So I don't want to assume Billie Eilish or Bad Bunny hate America. They're both Americans. Puerto Rico's, if you're born in Puerto Rico, you are still an American. So I don't want to assume. And again, they might hate, like Ellen did. She left, right, as Matt pointed out. So like, I'm not saying they do like it either. I don't want to speculate what they feel for the country because I don't know, and I also don't care that much. But Bill Maher's right. Everybody and their mother knows what's happening right now in ICE, like with ICE in this country, is a problem. And yeah, obviously there's like 25 to 33% of people who are, a little bit slower, and they're still holding on hope that somehow, some way, this is going to make the groceries more affordable. This is going to make housing more affordable. It's not. Everyone
Yeah.
else knows that, and they're still out there, and it can be frustrating when you hear those people speak to not want to, shake them and say, "What are you doing?" But if you're a regular person, I say go for it. Have that conversation because you, like me, like Matt, like Allison, like Jose, wake up and go to work every day. Then you got to pay your bills. Then got to go to the grocery store where everything's gone up in price still. You got to, you're looking at the gas, which is finally coming down, and all we had to do was invade Venezuela for it. So, like, if you're a regular person, go for it. Have those conversations. That's how that's how things change, through conversation. But when none of it affects you, shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
that's the thing.
And here's the
That
thing. You can vote for whoever, right? Like, go for it. If you support a certain candidate,
November.
right? Yeah. Again, I'm not saying don't vote if you're a celebrity. That's insane. You live here too. This affects you differently, but it still affects you. So you absolutely have a say. And honestly, if you're not on stage, if you're not at the Grammys, or if you're not at a political rally, or if you are at a political rally but you're in the crowd as just an American who has an opinion, I love that. They should do that. The actors' strike was an example of that. Very famous actors didn't go up on a platform and tell other actors, voice actors, character actors, extras, whoever else, how they had to feel about the strike. They just stood on the picket line with them. That was it. That's all they did. They were just out there striking with the rest of the actors. They were all one group. Do that. If you're against ICE, be at a rally for that
Yeah.
in person. Don't do it at the Grammys. Not because I don't want you to. I agree with you. But because, unfortunately, the 30% of people swells to 45% when you do that. And I don't know
Yeah,
what's
you're
wrong.
contradicting your point.
I don't know what's wrong with the 15% of people. Why seeing Billie Eilish say this makes them like ice more. But it's real. They're real.
Yeah.
They do exist, and we need them to stop being on that team. So for at least the time being, privately have opinions, privately do things that help. Don't make a big deal of it. It's only making it worse.
There you go, Ryan. Like I said, it's just contradicting the point. It makes it worse. It sadly doesn't help the cause, and That was one of the things I really talked about why we had our results we had in the 2024 election.
Mhm.
It was literally just that. So
Yep.
there's other ways to do it without a camera or mic. You go in and make your point. The point
Not the
is
host,
blank.
by the way. I want to make that clear. When you're the host, you're supposed to talk about current events.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about the
we're talking
winners.
about
Yeah.
exactly the specific winners.
Yes.
The other nominees didn't get a chance to, but
Yes. They
that's
would have
where
if they
it
could have,
happens.
probably. But
So once the celebrity realizes that they aren't a real person, things will get a lot better. That's one thing I loved hearing about Matt Damon when he was doing his press tour for the Rip. Yeah, once you're famous, you are never a regular person again. So we
Yeah.
can't ever actually we can do as best as we can to try to create art that relates to the normal person, but we are never going to be that again. Even infamous people are like that. So
yeah. And Matt Damon's one of the better, more down to earth celebrities.
exactly,
Like,
he's
he's
awesome.
close. He's closer than a lot of other people are. But even he knows, like, I could be closer, but I'm still not there.
I love hearing him speak. He's really great at it. He shows he's a brilliant man.
He's very smart. Yes.
So the other things, right? As we talked about the PolyMarkets and stuff, Trevor Noah hosts the Grammy Awards. It's nice to see Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
So as the prediction markets keep growing and stuff like that, and people can trade, not wager, but trade on if an event will or will not happen.
Tomato, tomato.
Yep. So exactly. So during the actual awards, Trevor Noah delivered this line referencing the prediction market. And it's stuff like this that makes me realize, wow, this site that I do rely on, that I low-key love, really does have a bunch of nonsense and dummies telling us the straight up wrong things. So never take it 100% seriously. Like this.
Welcome back to the Grammys. Potato. If you had me saying potato on PolyMarket, you just made a ton of money. So congratulations, Noah_22, whoever that is. All right, before we move on with the show, everybody. Welcome back to the Grammy.
I thought it was a good joke.
That's a great joke.
But what was insane is some people viewed it as either joking or they actually questioned whether he was actually insider trading, knowing what he would say before it happened. So just so you know, and something similar to why I don't think there's actual violence getting traded or wagered in a prediction market. Potato was not actually listed as a betting option on the PolyMarket Grammy stuff. You could do Grammy stuff, but him saying potato wasn't actually something you could wager.
It was a joke.
It was just a playful nod to the rising popularity of these markets.
Well, and a joke about how he could have rigged it. That's the problem with Kalshi and PolyMarket. It's very easily rigged. I mean, not very easily. Depends on the wager. But some wagers are very easy to rig. Will somebody, do something? If I'm that somebody, I could say, all right, well, if I do it, I'll make a lot of money. So I'll go ahead and do it. Like, duh.
Duh, indeed. Well, I'm glad some of us realized it was a joke. What wasn't a joke was Chappell Roan.
Oh,
and
that was
the
something.
impact she made on this fashion choice. So let me present. If there's no reason why you can't see this, it is because it's banned on YouTube. You could at least listen to us talking about it. Yeah. So this is what Chappell Roan pulled up to the Grammys. Here's this dress.
Can you even call it a dress?
One person steps on that, her nipples are out.
I know, right? So this was her red carpet look, as I'm showing. So the way to describe it, she's wearing a sheer dress where the only thing covering above her chest is nothing. She's wearing nipple rings, and the bottom is sheer too. So she was nominated for Record of the Year, Best Pop Solo Performance. She didn't win, but she has this sheer gown by the designer Mugler. Am I pronouncing that right? Mugler? Mugler?
I don't know.
Not a clue.
Well, that's who designed this dress. And it's essentially a sheer chiffon gown that appeared to be suspended from nipple rings, with a long dramatic train and fake tattoos or body art visible beneath it. It was styled with a gold choker and complementing heels, and Roan paired the outfit with her signature fiery red hair. What made this so buzzworthy was this high fashion with performance art, I guess. So I say it's a mixed views. Some people found it iconic and boundary pushing, and some people said it was too revealing. But when talked about this, the press had something to say what was going on, and this is what she said. She's coming at these people.
You shut the fuck up!
Yeah. Yo.
Not me.
Hey, yeah.
Whoa. What happened?
That was from a different event, right? That was just that's a meme now, I believe.
Yeah, that was the one from the night before. But I just wanted to share this too. So, man, Chappell Roan,
She's so
I
weird.
get it.
She's always angry, I feel like.
Right.
She's just weird.
She's just a strange person. She's extremely talented. I generally do like her songs.
Yeah.
I really think she's talented, but you do need the press to enhance your stardom, and they will fuck you over if you do shit like that.
I think they have. I mean, she's not anywhere even close to as famous as when she came out with all those songs everybody loved. It was like 5 in a row. It was like, oh, she's like, inevitable, but she's been consistently grumpy. And now she does, she's just kind of there. She's in the background. They've moved on. And I think that's because she's grumpy and press doesn't like to cover her because she's not fun. And you can be not fun, by the way. I'm fine with it. But, actions have consequences. You can be whoever you want to be, but if that's not that likable, then you're not going to get positive attention.
I know, right?
But also, that dress is, well, not a dress. It was like a weird towel.
A towel
that she had hanging from her breasts.
Right, and then she had the pantyhose under it with the sheer that it's like.
No fairness, you have to wear something underneath, so I suppose that's fine. But to me,
we just go naked at this point. Clothes optional world. Is that what we're trying to push with stuff like this?
I mean, again, I think it's just her, so I don't think it's I don't think it's necessarily a lot of people who are looking to do that, but it was weird. I mean, I get it. It was meant to make a statement, but sometimes I think we've realized someone's trying to make a statement, and then we try to figure out what that statement's about. And it wasn't. The statement was, look at me, pretty please, look at me.
Big balloons.
Not even that. She didn't care what people looked at. It was just, pay attention to me. That was the statement. It wasn't a deep statement. It was just, you haven't said my name in a while. I know what I'll do. And that's like, a little bit sad. She feels that she needs the attention like that. Just keep doing what you're doing. You make good music. You're a very talented performer. I just don't see it. I don't see the performance art of that at all.
Me neither. I feel so many people need to be as weird as possible to stick out. And we are seeing this. And that brings me to this person who pulled up to the red carpet. I guess I am at some age where I'm not even that old of a person, but really hearing celebrities' names that I've never heard of, like this person. How do I pronounce this? Gesaffelstein. You ever heard of Gesaffelstein?
No. What does she do?
He is the person who pulled up, and this was his getup.
His name is Jessa?
Gesaffelstein.
I thought this way. Perfect, thank you.
I don't even know what this is. It's not blackface, but it's just
Right there.
all black. What is this?
I mean, I don't want to say it's not blackface because it feels like it might be.
Perfect, thank you.
So his name's Mike Levy. He's a French DJ. He does specifically electronic music, like dark techno industrial.
Is that a mask? Is that a mask that he's
collaborated with The Weeknd, Kanye West, and Pharrell Williams, performing in all black outfits with a signature mysterious masked stage presence.
Okay, so that's a mask. Okay, that's better than paint. So that's just what it's like a Daft Punk thing where can't take off the mask.
So it's like Sick Kick or Marshmallow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marshmallow's another one. Can't take off the mask. Okay, I mean,
If you
sure.
want to know, this is some of his music. So yeah, that's the vibe. It all sounds the same to me. Even though I won't lie, you can hit me in the right moment where I'll bop my head and do.
That one, I didn't like that one. That made me feel sad. I didn't like it. Too dark.
And this wasn't from the Grammys. This was from, I believe, a showcase of new artists.
Hmm.
It was from Spotify's Best New Artist Party. Listen, there's a time in my life when I'd hang out with like real hipstery people, like in the East Village, Manhattan, or Brooklyn.
Hmm.
And I swear to God, these are the type of people they listen to. This is a real person. Her real name is Emily Marconi, but you all might know her as Horse Girl.
Horse Girl.
This is her dressed up Horse Girl. This is a real person.
Perfect. Awesome.
An indie pop singer who has more synthesized driven music. Her music often explores personal struggles, mental health, and surreal dreamlike narratives. She has a cult following, and it's very, they call it internety. Some associate with avant-garde or alternative fashion. And yeah, this is what she does. She dressed up as literal BoJack Horseman.
I feel like
music. Horse Girl.
I do feel like there's a
Like Horse
ready-made
Girl.
there's a ready-made collaboration with Chappell Roan on a synth version of Pink Pony Club that basically is just sitting there for the two of them to take. But beyond that,
Horse Girl.
that feels limiting. I don't know that I expect to see Horse Girl sell out Madison Square Garden. And not everybody has.
This is from her her second most streamed, My Little White Pony.
Oh wow. I mean, I'm getting a My Little Pony vibe off of that one.
It's My White Little Pony. And this is
No, I know,
else.
but the melodies.
My Barn, My Rules. This is her most streamed song. But it's 32 million streams, so
Jesus.
So who's the one in and who's not?
In fairness,
Horse Girl.
People forget this is how Doja Cat started. I will say.
As Horse Girl?
Well, no,
Friend?
she was
an actual cat.
No, one of her biggest like songs, quote unquote, a viral video she had was a song called "Bitch I'm a Cow."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And it's "Bitch I'm a
You
Cow."
know what? I'm on my
cow.
parents. We are fucking ruining music
But
on the mainstream
to be
level.
clear,
I'm a fucking cow.
It is.
I'm
Doja
sorry.
Cat.
I will do the young man yelling at the cloud on this one.
Yes, but I am saying like
with Horse Girl, Galveston, Chappell Roan.
But yeah, that again, Doja Cat started with a song about how she's not a cat, she's a cow. And then she became Doja Cat, like, didn't even notice, whatever the words are of that song. So, it's a start. You start somewhere, right?
Oh, damn horses. Horse cow.
Horse cow. Oh, wow, that's a collaboration there. That's what I'll do. I'll be a singer, and I'll call myself Cowboy, and I'll dress like a cow. I think, actually, I'm leaving money on the table if I don't do that. I'm going to have to work on that.
I got to switch it up right now. That's enough Grammy stuff. Justin Bieber before Naked.
Oh, he was in his boxers, but,
Kendrick won, so I like that.
Trevor Noah had a pretty good joke about
Drake.
Kendrick and Drake, yeah.
Listen, I know we're in an era where we love our animals and we love to support our animals. And No, I am on that wave the whole time. Every creature in this world deserves a good life, except bad humans. But everybody else is fine. But there's a reason when they tell us, don't go near wild animals. And I hate to talk about this at somebody's expense, but unfortunately, this is exactly why. So we have here from China, a skier at a resort inside a global geopark survived a rare and violent snow leopard attack after ignoring repeated warnings and approaching the animal to take a photo. The incident occurred near Kiki-Tuahai International Ski Resort, located deep in the Altai Mountains of northwest China. A widely circulated video shows the snow leopard standing over the injured skier before backing away as the ski instructor and several bystanders rushed to intervene. So we have here, ooh, selfie with the leopard, selfie, and literal fuck around and find out moment. I don't want to show the other footage; it's very, very nasty.
Mhm.
I know I don't want to come off as unsympathetic or cross, and I feel bad for anybody getting hurt, but this was very preventable.
Yes.
Put the picture back up if you can.
I got
'Cause
you.
I just
Just
wanna-
give me a cue.
Yeah, because I think it's important. I mean, obviously, we're not showing the horrible post-attack pictures. You can find those.
Yeah, I don't have that. The only other one I
Yeah.
have is the before after where you
The
definitely
one
see
from
very
before,
bloody.
though.
Yeah,
the one from before is fine. Look at this cat. Okay.
he's ready.
No, here's the thing. I have a cat, and obviously, my cat is not a snow leopard. My cat is a regular cat. Matt has a cat, right? We have
Yes, I
all
do.
seen that face on a cat before. And that face on a cat, no matter the size of said cat, means that cat is going to jump on you or somebody near you because you've annoyed him. That is the face of an annoyed cat who's going to hit you or, nibble on you because you annoyed them. You pet them the wrong way or you stopped petting them, whatever it is you did. You annoyed them and they're going to teach you a lesson. Anyone who's ever had a cat knows what that face looks like. If I saw that, I would not be smiling. I would have dropped my phone in the selfie position and I would have walked away without even turning back in the hopes that the cat would forgive me for annoying him. I don't know. I'm with you, Matt. Obviously, it sucks that someone was hurt. But as you said, every animal deserves to live a happy, life, right? All people do, or all creatures do. And that cat, their happy life is to be left alone. The snow leopard wants you to go away. That's what they want. That's their happy. So
The fact that you even
just
got that
do
close is insane.
Well, I think she got that close because the cat
Oh, yeah,
decided to attack her. I don't think if the cat had wanted her to go away, it would have just left. But the cat was annoyed at her and came over. That's the problem.
This teaches us you don't need attention all the damn time. You don't need validation. I'm happy. It's not.
Yeah, that's
you're
right.
not cute. You're not impressing anybody.
Hey,
And
she's
now
not cute.
she's gonna have a fucked face for the rest of her life. Sorry.
Potentially, yeah.
She
I mean,
lived?
obviously, she
Yeah,
did,
she lived.
which
But,
is
She wasn't
impressive.
well, I mean, she wasn't that cute to begin with, so I mean, it didn't really make a big difference.
Well, I mean, it makes a difference because she got
So
attacked
what I
by
meant
a
by not
snow
cute is like
leopard.
you're not impressed. That's one thing my
Yeah.
parents would always say to me, and I say
You're not
sometimes.
cute. You're not funny, and you're not impressing anybody.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I've
what
heard
I
that
meant.
one.
So Luigi Mangione now from
good.
another crazy ass person to an even crazier person. Obviously, we know what Luigi did. He saw that he had a hurt back. He wanted the healthcare. He wanted the United States healthcare system to help him. They didn't. He decided to go on his own revenge mission. Shoots the United Healthcare CEO around December 2024. Shoots him in the back. Clear as day evidence of him seeing those shots.
Mhm.
Then gets arrested in Pennsylvania. It's been incarcerated since.
Yes.
And we just found out towards the end of last week, a federal judge dismissed the most serious federal murder and firearm charges against Luigi Mangione, the ones that could have made him eligible for the death penalty. The judge ruled the remaining stalking counts don't legally qualify as, quote, crimes of violence, which was required to justify death-eligible charges. This means Mangione will not face the death penalty if convicted. So what's going on next, right? Mangione is still facing 2 federal stalking charges, alleging he caused Brian Thompson's death through interstate stalking with both travel and electronic communications. Each of those counts can carry life in prison without parole if he's convicted. And separate from federal charges, Mangione still facing state murder charges in New York for killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Earlier in state proceedings, terrorism-related charges were dismissed because judges ruled his actions did not legally meet terrorism criteria. The basic murder charges do remain. So right now, there's a federal and state trial getting prepared. The federal trial, jury selection for the federal trial is scheduled to begin on September 8th, 2026, with opening arguments starting at around October 13th, 2026. Because the death penalty is off the table, the trial is considered a non-capital federal case. For the state of New York, the state murder trial is expected to happen before the federal trial, potentially starting in July of 2026, although defense attorneys would like the federal case to go first. And there's a bunch of evidence battles going on, which include such as whether the items found in Mangione's backpack at the time of his arrest can be presented to jurors, and that's all still being litigated in state court. So, Mangione, Luigi, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance for those weirdos who want that chance. But interesting to see his at least federal charges were dropped. But I'd like to think that even through all this, that he's probably never going to see the light of day again, especially with that video we saw.
Yeah, I mean, so
unless he has the greatest lawyers of all time, which
maybe
there are people trying.
And again, also, so the reason why this was done, according to the U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett, who presided over it, was that the charge was murder through use of a firearm. However, you can only do that if you are also charging them with another violent crime. And so the prosecution, again, from what I'm reading and understanding, tried to tie it to the stalking charges as a violent crime. And the judge said, no, that's not a violent crime. And so they had to drop the charge because they didn't have the violent crime to allow the pretext of the murder through use of firearm. So, like, it was more than anything, the prosecution decided to go for something that they clearly should have gone at a different angle, which I would say doesn't bode well for their ability to get this case done in a way that people would be okay with, i.e. someone who we watched commit a crime going to jail. But yeah, we'll have to see. I have to imagine, like, again, that was one hiccup. The prosecution, did something silly. And they won't go silly for this next one, and they'll probably still get life in prison on both counts.
Without parole.
Without parole. I have to imagine. I will say the judge, after doing that, did allow the backpack that they found. The defense, so Luigi's team, wanted that not to be admissible in court, and the judge ruled against them and said that the contents of the backpack were admissible in court. So it wasn't like this is some pro Mangione judge either. That they had two
not
big
like
rulings.
That person.
Right, but it's like two rulings, and they went and each side lost something, right? So one side lost the death penalty, the other side lost throwing out evidence that makes him look super guilty. So
he pleaded not guilty. He said, "You know what? Those charges, that video, I didn't do it." That's what he said.
Yeah, I would say, though, technically all he said, is I didn't stalk this person. And that's where it gets into trouble. Because right now, because of the way that they butchered the murder, which we all saw him do.
I didn't follow him around. I just happened to know he was going to be there.
Right. that's
Wouldn't
what
that be
makes this
nuts?
so that's what makes this hard is because again, obviously every jury of like regular people is going to be like, yeah, but I watched you kill somebody, and they're going to want to send this kid to prison for doing that. But like technically, if every jury did what the judge says, it closes their ears and only focuses on the facts, the prosecution now has to prove that Luigi Mangione crossed state lines knowing where this person would be and stalking this person, and that is really going to be harder to do because the video only shows him
Like one angle of it.
well, it shows him killing a guy.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't see. It's not like we have a bunch of videos of him following this dude around, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that much evidence about stalking. We have notes and texts, but that's all they have. They don't have any footage on the ground or even eyewitnesses about stalking. So like, yeah, this is going to be a harder case now federally. I believe again, the state of New York is still charging him with murder. They dropped the terrorism charge, which is smart because I think factually he would have gotten out. If they tried to get him on terrorism, I don't think they would have. I don't know. No, nothing changed. There was no manifesto, not really. I don't. It's wasn't terrorism. It was a murder. It wasn't terrorism. So we'll see how the state one goes. But the
Damn.
federal one's going to be crazy.
All I could say is that there really will be a day, and if this guy sees the light of day,
Yeah.
it really is all about who you hire to defend you. Not that while there's literally a whole human history of showing that, there's really
Well,
emphasizing
and they overreached. They wanted to kill him. I said this to you privately. If I'm saying it here, they wanted to kill him to make an example. Like I said, the government went out of their way to say like that this person's a terrorist. To say like this they were they made claims throughout this whole process. They did a perp walk with more police than I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It was premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. That's according to the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. Um, and so like that's prejudicial language to say any of that as an attorney. Um, so yeah, they overreached. They wanted to get execution on the table, and it could cost them a lot more. Right now, it's only cost them execution, but if they can't prove stalking, it could cost them the whole thing, the whole case.
the country's interesting. As somebody I know likes to say things are interesting, I agree with them. And I also think not only men are interesting, but the country's interesting.
Men are interesting. Now I know who we're talking about.
I know. All right, the last thing before we go into our questions and opinions, we had the Beatles, right? We were talking about how there's these big biopics coming out of the Beatles. Four guys all playing the Beatles. Sam Mendes is making 4 different movies, 4 different biopics of the 4 Beatles. And they actually released first look photos. So we have Paul Mescal playing. So sorry, the movie's coming out in April 2028. No trailer has been released, but we have 4 we have 4 first looks of these actors. So why don't we do it one by one as best as I can? So John Lennon is played by Harris Dickinson. This is Harris Dickinson as John Lennon right here. Look at the corner if you're watching on YouTube. Look at the left. Here is John Lennon right here. Harris Dickinson. How does it? So far, so good. I think a pretty good makeup job.
He's also a musician too. I believe he plays guitar and stuff for real.
There you go. So one more time for a better look. John Lennon right here. So now we have, I think, the most famous out of all of these, to be fair. Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney. That's pretty canny.
I mean, that's like on point.
Paul.
Yeah, no, that's on point.
Yeah, that's Paul as Paul. Then as I sit up on the other side, who was, trivia question, Ellison and Jose. Who was the other guitarist of the Beatles?
I don't know.
How about
Repeat
you,
the question.
Jose? Who's the other guitarist from the Beatles besides John Lennon?
Was there Ringo Starr? John Crane?
that is a Beatle.
Harrison?
I'll give you.
Yes, you
Oh,
got
you
it.
got
George
it. He got it.
Harrison.
He got it. Yeah.
Harrison, yeah. I know
He,
the
knew,
fuck
he
the
knows the
Beatles.
Beatles. He doesn't know the instrumentation, but he knows the Beatles. That's
Yeah.
good.
I'm dead. Well, we have Joseph Quinn as George Harrison right here.
Ringo Starr was the first to go, right? He was the first to kick the bucket, and then
He's still
Harrison.
factually Ringo Starr is still alive.
Is he? So
Yeah.
Harrison's the first one that
Harrison,
Lennon.
yes, Harrison
Lennon
is
died.
alive.
Lennon died.
Oh,
first.
Lennon was
and
first.
then
Okay, it was
Yeah.
close
Lennon
then.
okay, got it.
Lennon
Oh yeah,
died. I just
Harrison
happened
was
to know this.
2001.
Why
Yeah.
do I
just
think
looked
it's
it up.
John? Only Paul McCartney was the only one left alive.
No, there's
You're
two
right.
Beatles, and my mom. This is true. Just saw Ringo Starr in concert.
What would you do if I sang?
Yes,
Harrison?
exactly.
That song really carried him, huh?
I mean, he has other
decades.
songs,
Right.
but yeah.
And then last but not least, we have Sabrina Carpenter's ex, Barry Cogan as Ringo. Nah, I don't feel this one as much, but that's him.
I will say, actually, the one that
These are your Beatles. These are your future Beatles.
So I think that Quinn as Harrison, he's got too much rugged Jesus, in my opinion. I would say he's the furthest from where he needs to be. Followed then by Barry as Ringo. But yeah, they're John Lennon and their Paul, and certainly their Paul McCartney are phenomenal. And honestly, those are the two you want to nail for obvious reasons. Although, I'll be honest, George Harrison's probably gonna have a very cool movie.
Yeah, he's had a very interesting. He probably has the most interesting life.
Right, like he went all over the world. That's he's the one who experimented with the idea of like the sitar and like mixing other music into it. So he's a well-traveled guy. He unfortunately died pretty young of cancer.
Oh, it was cancer, right?
Yeah, lung cancer, and yeah, so it's like, he probably has of the. I mean, John Lennon is going to be factually because he's the most famous one. He died tragically. Like that's going to be the movie everybody wants to see. But I do think that the George Harrison section of the film could be quite interesting. And like I said, I think that they should do a 30 Rock with the Ringo Starr section where everyone's a puppet or like animated. Because I don't know how you make that interesting. I don't know if about him. I know he was the replacement Beatle. Yeah, I know he's the replacement Beatle. So at the beginning you got that, which could be interesting. But other than the very beginning, I don't know what you do.
I read he was the only one to actually be cool with all of them at once post Beatles. And I don't know if that means anything. I just thought that was interesting. Like he was the one who kept in touch with everyone.
Is this like a Power Rangers shit where they make 4 individual movies and then they make one big one?
No, it's just the
4 individuals.
But they're playing each other in all of them. So like the Ringo Starr movie is still going to include the other 3.
Right.
And then the guy that's like Barry Keoghan is playing Ringo in the other 3 movies as well. So everyone's playing the same character in 4 movies. Well, and I will say, I just looked this up. Ringo Starr is glad that Keoghan is portraying him. I believe he's somewhere taking drum lessons, Starr said, but I hope not too many, which is a pretty funny comment. So even still, self-effacing Ringo Starr. We're too hard on him.
All right. Let's do our questions of the day. Got a couple here. They are my first one is a music related one. Can you have yourself a good girl and still be addicted to them hood rats?
Wait, what?
What?
Can you have yourself a good girl but still be addicted to them hood rats?
Oh, got it.
Kanye?
Yes. Basically, he's saying, can you still be monogamous but still, I guess, have your side chicks?
No.
Well, no. If you're monogamous, you don't have side chicks. So there
if you're polyamorous, you do.
But then you're not monogamous.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They're like opposite.
Now, if he's saying, can you be faithful to one person who is very different than the people you typically partake in? Sure. It'll be hard. It'll be harder if you're not usually into somebody and then you try and make them your one and only. That's going to be difficult for you, but you could. But no, if you're saying, can I have a side chick while still calling myself a committed, being committed in a monogamous relationship? No, obviously you can't. Those are opposites. So there you go.
What about you asking one girl that's in love and another person that's in a committed relationship, only been in one real relationship to answer those questions? Of course, the answer is you can.
How can you be monogamous with two people, Jose? Like, put that
Well,
aside. Any of the other stuff.
Okay, I'll answer for you. As long as she thinks you're in a monogamous relationship, that's all that fucking matters.
Well,
wow.
even if let me say I agree with you. I don't, but let me say I do. Yeah, no harm, no foul. What she doesn't know won't hurt her. That's essentially what you're saying, correct?
Exactly.
Fine, from a practical sense, but still, very specifically, whether it's practically the same or not, you are actively not being monogamous. Whether she knows or not, doesn't change what you're doing. So no, you cannot be monogamous and have a side chick.
The point
It is impossible. It is not possible to be
possible,
loyal
as
to
long as
one
she thinks
person
that.
while
Yes.
being with two
As
people.
long as she
No,
thinks I'm
perception
loyal,
is
that's all
not
that
reality,
matters.
Jose. You
Well,
can't sit here and say if she
It's
thinks
her
it's.
reality. It's
But
her reality.
that wasn't the
That's the
question.
point. The point is it's her reality. So her
The
thought
question
process.
wasn't about her reality. It's can you cheat and say you're not cheating? No.
Yes, you can. Easy.
No. Sorry. Not say. Yes, you can say anything you want. It's called lying.
Well,
But can you cheat while also not cheating? And the answer is no. If you're cheating, then you're cheating. If you're not,
you're
then you're
only
not.
cheating when you're getting caught. Period,
No,
Ryan.
that's not true.
Period.
You're only cheating if you're getting caught.
That's just not true.
It's not a
It's
crime
true.
if you don't get caught.
No, it very
exactly.
much is. If you kill somebody and they never catch you, you still killed somebody, which is a crime.
Yeah, but nobody knows that, so nobody's calling you murderer, is there? Are they?
No, but they're calling someone a murderer. They're saying a
That's fine,
murderer
as
did
long as
this.
they're not pointing that finger at me. So
But
exactly the same
you're still
aspect.
but you are still the murderer, whether you
Yeah,
get
but
caught or
nobody
not.
knows. In
But
everybody's reality, I'm not the murderer yet.
But yes, but that's other people's perception. The reality is you did still do a murder.
Yeah, but who in their reality, I'm not.
I don't
That's the
care.
point.
That wasn't the question about reality.
The point. Ryan.
The question wasn't about
possible.
reality. It's not possible.
It's possible.
Can you cheat while not cheating? No. Or can you not cheat while cheating? No.
Hilarious. The next one is this a true formula? How to lose a girl in 3 days. Ask her on a date, buy her flowers, communicate, respond quickly, treat her well. Is that the formula to lose a girl in 3 days?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Of course, Ryan. Of course, Ryan's gonna say no.
I said some girls. I'm not denying.
It's almost 95% girls, Ryan.
We're not doing the made up percentages. I'm saying, yeah, some girls it will be like, oh my God, way too much. The flowers are too much. They're responding too quickly. They're suffocating me. I don't want to deal with this. That's absolutely true. Anyone who's ever known anyone who's dated online knows people who have said that about somebody that they were talking to. But not everybody wants that. It just depends on the person. But no, it definitely exists. That person who would leave you in 3 days for paying too much attention to them, very much real. I think everybody.
We don't want to be we don't want to be suffocated.
Well, no, I'm not saying it in a good or bad way.
True. You could essentially do all that if they actually like you.
Sure. You could also not do that, and then they could say, well, I can't tell if this person even likes me because they're not showing enough interest. Like, it's a balancing act. That's why it's crazy to try and like maximize yourself in any which way, because something you do for girl A could be a total turnoff for girl B, but girl C could love it. So now you can't, you know what I mean? You'll be spending too much time picking which boy you want to be. Just be one and then find the counterbalance.
Amen. Good work on that one. My last question of the day. Okay. So we're going. I have this new system where I put my stuff in my notes, and sometimes they have questions of the days based on what we talked about. So the first one, what's a more iconic Catherine O'Hara role? What's a more iconic Catherine O'Hara role? Home Alone or Schitt's Creek, for instance. This isn't the one, but I think it's obvious the answer. But I'm willing to hear other person.
I've never seen Schitt's Creek, so I'm
I will
gonna say.
I'm agreeing with Allison over here. I will never ever watch a show called Schitt's Creek. First off, but so I will go Home Alone as well.
I mean, I love Schitt's Creek, but it's Home Alone is one of the most iconic movies ever, right? Like John, like it is. It just is one of the most iconic movies ever made. And she has a leading role in it, so I have to say Home Alone. But I love Schitt's Creek. It's far more no, it's not more rewatchable. That's a lie too. I think Schitt's Creek is very rewatchable. I think it's very funny. But it's Home Alone.
I agree. It's Home Alone. So we talked about the snow leopard story. At what point does trying to get the perfect selfie become too reckless? I think when you can actually get hurt, and when we've learned that while social media, you could get your likes, you could get your validation, do whatever the hell you want with your platform. But I think most of us don't care. If you could get a selfie on the top of the Empire State Building, you get a like, but you'll forget about it in 30 minutes. If you do the Eiffel Tower, the Las Vegas Sphere, Mount fucking Everest, nobody cares. If you care about it, that's most important. But there's no point now in getting social media moments where your life is at danger.
I'm actually gonna go even further back. For obvious reasons, if your life is in danger, you should not be taking a selfie. They just, not to bring it down, but they just found the last person from that fire in Sweden, at that club died today. They were, a teenager who was at a club, and yeah, for those of you who don't know, there was a fire. Everybody took their phones out. Nobody left the building. So 40 something people died. Why? Because everybody stood underneath a burning building. Anyway, so yeah, obviously if your life's in danger, put your phone away. You don't need it. But also, I feel like if taking the picture has become the reason to do something, then you shouldn't take the picture. Right? Like I see this happen at like events all the time. Like especially here in DC. People come to DC, we got a lot of history here in DC, the monuments, all that, right? And they're here and they're doing a TikTok video. They're not facing the Washington Monument. They're doing a video in front of it for, content. Or they're taking a picture with, you know what I mean? Like, you're not there at that point to experience anything. You're there for work. You're doing this for money or clout or whatever. And that's just not a good enough reason to do stuff sometimes. Sometimes you got to do stuff that you like. And you don't need a camera to do stuff that you like.
Nope. Selfie, picture, look at me. But you got to remember to live and know what you're doing with yourself. That's just my food for thought. I mean, who the hell am I? I'm a podcaster in the cold, growing a brand with his team. But we know what the hell we're talking about, too. So, nuclear opinions to finish it off. This is the part of the show where we talk about what's going on. This is the part of the show where we give our thoughts on something, our big hot take of the day, how we feel about things. It's the nuclear opinion. And for me, The first one I'm going to do right here, my nuclear opinion is when it comes to responses on text, you love you love a response. You like a response, you love a response, you dislike, you laugh and stuff like that. I think it works when talking about where you are in a moment. For instance, hey, I'm running late, or hey, I'm here right now, or hey, I am leaving my house now to get to the airport. That's fine. But that is not a way to end a conversation. You end a conversation in a conclusion in a way that's a conclusion. Not, hey, we're talking, you like what I say after. That's not the end of a conversation. It's too damn confusing and messes up people's communication. And, there's nothing wrong with saying goodbye, talk to you later, TTL, peace. So, again, text reactions are not conclusions.
I hate when people do that.
Right? Me too.
Because you're like, is that their response and they're expecting you to respond? Or is it like, it's just so confusing.
Yeah, when I do that, it's almost always going to be a double text if I don't understand the end of the conversation. Every once in a while, fine. If you want to, if you need space, if you want to move on for something, okay. But you can't do that on a regular basis because that is not a response. That's not a conclusive response, I should say. So what's next?
My nuclear opinion, so like applying for apartments and stuff, they always want you to show, so like the pay stub stuff I totally get because they want proof of income and everything, but I hate when they ask for your checking like account, like your personal checking account like statements. Then they see like everything you purchased, and I'm like, I always have money to pay rent and stuff, and sometimes like I'm just not a great saver. So they're gonna see that and be like, this girl spends so much money.
No, I think that's valid. Absolutely. I never got that either. And that stuff's personal, so why do you know about that? I remember once I got really sick. And got a fat bill in the mail. I think this was right before or after I got health insurance. I don't know. I remember they went through everything for like a 2-month period where they went as far as to requesting my Venmo receipts. I'm like, listen, you're charging me $10,000 for this viral infection. I promise you don't need to know who I'm Venmoing. And I wound up caving anyways, and the whole bill was covered, but that was still weird. People try to be mad invasive. Weird. Need my damn Venmo stuff. All right. Another nuclear opinion I want to share really quick that I just found funny. It's from Maggie Moda. Sabrina Carpenter actually was at the Grammys. She didn't win.
No, she didn't.
Did not win. But I like this tweet because a lot of people feel she's a manufactured person. That was the haters, and a lot of people are inspired by her. But I think this is true. At least from the people in my life, it seems to be true. Men hate Sabrina Carpenter and love Sydney Sweeney. Women hate Sydney Sweeney and love Sabrina Carpenter.
No, I disagree. We know me. I've already said who I thought was more attractive several times.
No, I'm not about attractiveness. This is all about actually liking or disliking the person, regardless of how you feel.
Gotcha.
I think men hate Sabrina Carpenter and love Sydney Sweeney, whether it's her looks or whatever. And then women hate Sydney Sweeney but love Sabrina Carpenter.
Well, I think a lot of women got upset at that gene thing, right? So like I guess that's probably why. I don't know. I don't hate either one of them.
I don't think it's the gene thing. I just think she's very mega. She's very.
But she wasn't until the gene.
I'm just saying, she did say in a recent interview, "I'm not political. I only focus on the arts." Whether you want to interpret that another way, because I know a lot of Republicans definitely don't like to admit they're Republican, which is a fair statement, but she did say that.
Well, right, and but again, nobody was calling her MAGA until the Gene thing. Like, I think we do got to be honest. The Gene thing happened, and then everybody was like, "Oh, she's MAGA," and then they tried to find other examples or other things to prove that, but that was never.
Look at her wearing a red hat.
Sure, right, but I'm like, none of that was a thing until after the Genes. So like, again, and she might be MAGA. I do think she's kind of leaning into the perception that she's conservative or trad or whatever. Like, I think personally she saw that's what people were saying about her and said, F it, let's make some money. And that's a little grimy. I think you have to be low-key kind of already in alignment with MAGA to pretend to be a trad wife type. But it was all after the Genes. But I don't know. Also, do men hate Sabrina Carpenter? I feel like most guys don't have any opinion of Sabrina Carpenter.
I've heard
You wanna know
people not
what's-
hate, but I think they just look down on her. They've said like industry plant or I don't like her music.
I
These
think
I've heard
it's
people-
so.
Sure. Yeah,
I think it's so funny how men, y'all set like not y'all specifically, but like men I've encountered will say Sabrina Carpenter is too sexual and she's too whatever. But then you have Sydney Sweeney, who's literally like
the same thing.
essentially playing
yeah,
a porn
there's-
star in Euphoria now and like doing all these different things, and it's just I don't
think
know.
It is.
I feel
It's
like-
picking and choosing who we like
Yeah.
and dislike.
Yeah,
and they
I
do
was
the
gonna say.
exact same thing. Only Sabrina Carpenter sings. It sings really well. I like her voice.
I do too. I would say, I guess, and this is not to justify the guys, it's just they don't know any better. Sydney Sweeney in like Euphoria is playing a character. So Sydney Sweeney is playing a character, and that character is playing a OnlyFans model, right?
For season 3.
Yes, for season 3.
But, you know,
So,
we
like,
never had Jose when we had the Euphoria talk. Jose,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's your favorite show, so you must be excited for that.
Yes, I can't wait.
But anyway, point is, they're like, oh, it's fake. Like, she's an actress, right? Like, she's playing a role. Whereas Sabrina Carpenter, they're like, that's her. But it's not. Obviously, that's
It's
not
again,
her.
it's the picking and choosing.
Right. Like, it's a character. She's a performer, just like Sydney Sweeney. When she's on stage, she's playing a character. You know what I mean? She's not the same way just in everyday life as she is when she's doing sold out shows. They're different people. That they have to be. You can't. People are regular people every day are too boring to fill a stadium. Nothing that any of us do in our daily life is worthy of being witnessed by 10,000 people or 20,000 or 100,000, however
The only
big
thing
the
I think
stadium.
if Sydney Sweeney, you ever seen that? It's from the movie Knocked Up. Now it's a dated joke, but no, it's the
I
movie
mean, I've
Funny
seen the
People.
movie.
It's the movie Funny People. They show like
I
cats,
know
like,
that
hey,
one
look
too.
at me getting viral. It's like showing early virality.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just write the title of this cat video, Megan Fox blows someone? That's the same thing here. You could do like Sydney Sweeney.
Well, it's what Sydney
going to
Sweeney
do
is
a
factually doing, if we're being honest.
striptease tour.
Yeah.
Everything's
She's like,
sold out.
what if I sold bathwater soap? Like, you know what I mean? As an example.
I mean, yeah, right. And you could argue Sabrina could do the exact same thing, and
Oh,
the
she
same
definitely
people
could.
will do it.
Yeah, no, she definitely could. She hasn't, but that's just because she doesn't want to. And I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. I don't think anyone should hate or like any of them, either of them, for any reason.
no need
It's
to
weird.
hate
It's
a
weird that they're
celebrity.
being pitted against each other too.
I think it's just at the end of the day, two blonde girls.
That's
who
why
are
I think
probably
it
the
is.
same height,
Same
and,
age,
and
roughly,
and roughly similar features.
yeah. I think that's what
And
it
we
is
go
too.
from there.
But it's weird. It is weird that people are trying to compare the two.
And honestly, in 10 years later, there will be two new blondes that people will compare and contrast with. You know?
Mhm.
That's just how it is. All right, Ryan and Jose, take us home with your nuclear opinions.
Sure. Have you guys ever heard of Ava AI or Eva AI?
Nah,
No.
maybe?
So it's a British company, obviously AI, and they are, this is true, opening a pop-up cafe in Manhattan. And they're hoping it'll be a fixture, right? And you can go and you bring your phone, and you can then interact on a real date, like a real dinner date, with your AI boyfriend or girlfriend.
Oh.
This is a real place that
I'd
is
have to
really
give
going
up
to
on life at
exist.
that point.
And I can't say I know when it opens. But these percentages from this ad are from the story. I was reading the story today, and I just pulled it up. Is what makes it most interesting. 23% of millennials have used AI as a romantic companion, and 33% of Gen Z has, according to the Kinsey Institute, so a research firm. That's crazy. Why would you date AI?
It's a lot of lonely people, man.
It
A lot of
can't, but
lonely and
like,
hurt people.
but it can't touch you as an example, right?
Yeah, but
And
you can touch yourself.
but you could do that without AI.
Yeah, but now you can get a companion. Now you can have a little imagination to it.
You could have done that without AI. That's what I mean. Like, what you're not doing anything you couldn't have done in your bathroom by yourself. I don't know. To me, this whole thing is crazy. But yeah, allegedly, and they want to make it a permanent restaurant. I don't know how well that will work, but the quote, by the way, is being able to sit across from your AI in a real venue makes the event more meaningful. That's according to the CEO of the company, Tanny Save. For many people, their AI partners are a meaningful part of their everyday lives. Someone they can talk to about their worries, their daily challenges, and with whom they enjoy witty, fun conversations. She added, going on a real world date with that AI companion is a natural next step. And here's the thing. Obviously, to me, AI can't have a witty conversation. AI is just really bouncing your own ideas back at you from a slightly different angle. But whatever. Honestly, I'm fine if you talk to AI like it's your friend. Get stuff off your chest. You could just delete the chat. Boom, nobody knows. There's actually, I think, a therapeutic good to doing that. As long as you understand that AI isn't a person, it's an algorithm. But dating somebody, romantic involvement with an AI, there's a physical and emotional component that goes beyond having a fun, witty conversation or sharing your worries.
You ever have seen the movie Her?
I
Literally
have,
Her.
but
Literally.
when that came out, I thought that was frankly stupid. And now it's happening. Like, for real. It's happening for
That's
real.
how some student Silicon Valley's now. How can I make money? Let me make money off loneliness.
Well, yeah, and that's the
Boom.
other thing. People are letting these folks become multi-billionaires off of how lonely they are. Put the phone down. Go to the library. Go. Everyone get a library card. There are people at the library. Go talk to them.
Well, we could
But
start
yeah,
that campaign one of these days. All right. So, Jose, want to tell us your opinion?
My nuclear opinion is the Royal Rumble this year was straight trash.
didn't watch it.
I saw that one coming.
It's one of the worst Royal Rumbles I've ever watched.
That
And I stole it.
wrestling.
That is
Yes.
wrestling, yes.
Yay,
No,
wrestling.
it's boxing.
The only
Oh, yay,
exciting
boxing.
I'm
the
kidding.
only
It's wrestling.
the only exciting thing about wrestling is our tribal chief won. Other than that, it was straight trash.
Jose, what do you think about him shitting on WWE at Pat McAfee, or is that a work?
Work.
You think it's a work?
It's a
Because
work,
it's
but
too.
it's an
It's
honest
true,
work.
but it's a work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, and it's the storyline. So I think it's both.
Listen, it's a trash Royal Rumbles, but at least we got to put our fingers up in the air and acknowledge our tribal chief. So that's all it
I mean,
matters.
I'll be honest. I know some people were complaining, and I didn't watch. Some people were complaining about the Roman doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. My thing is, nobody who's outside of Roman and Cody should be in the main event, right? And that's the two main events. You got Cody, Drew, maybe Jacob, and you
No,
got Roman Punk.
it's definitely gonna be a triple threat, and you can go Roman Punk definitely.
Well,
But
there's a world where they do Jacob versus Cody at a, like elimination chamber or whatever to determine
nah,
the road
I
contender.
mean,
But anyway,
they think
point
they
is,
think they think elimination chamber Jacob was winning, and Cody's gonna politic to come in. But you're
I
right.
mean,
The
if he's
point-
turning heel, they could. But yeah, reality is Cody and Roman were the only two people who could main event or WrestleMania this year. So the Royal Rumble was going to change that. Like nobody's close enough, in my opinion.
Well,
They had a
you're
few
right.
people who could have been close, who frankly started the year close, not this current year, but the previous year, 2025, and they just fell off. They're gone. They're not a thing anymore. SmackDown's building some people, which is great, but they're still a ways off.
At the end of the day, people need to understand this. WrestleMania is in Vegas, and they need to justify them ticket prices at $10,000 for a front row fucking seat. And nobody's gonna go see fucking Sami Zayn or some shit Braun Breaker fucking main event. Fucking
Thank you.
WrestleMania.
Braun Breaker
No,
lost
correct.
that aura, man.
So at
I
the
was
end
like,
of
you
the
Again,
really
day,
think this? I'm supposed to be intimidated by this dude?
No, Breaker will be fine, but he's not. He's
He
not.
could
being
be the
WrestleMania.
champion for 3 weeks, like Jey Uso was, but
Well,
not
no,
at
he
Mania.
could just be champion, not at Mania. He could be champion for a year. Just don't win it at Mania.
he's not big of a
Maybe.
name.
I don't
That's the
know.
only problem.
Yeah.
He's just not a big
Yeah,
name
he's
for
just not like
10,000 seats.
Listen,
Correct.
Trick
Correct.
Williams, that's a cool dude.
He is, but he's not. I mean,
He's not ready.
certainly not ready. For
All right,
that.
we can wait, but that's so much. Listen, I'm gonna be quite frank with here. WWE's really white, and it's time for them to go for a more, quite frankly, to go for more black and brown people to add to that culture to it. I'm just gonna be straight up at this point, and I'm sorry, Samoa's Samoan. So the Samoan,
It's one thing.
the powerful Samoans one thing, but you gotta put more black and brown people in the main event scene. Just
Yeah, and they
straight up.
haven't
It's
built-
gonna
they
help
haven't
a
built
lot.
anybody.
You'll attract more entertainment vouchers. You will get. It'll be more mainstream naturally with that. And nothing against Cody Rhodes either, but that's why Trick Williams has a great opportunity. If you need to build him more, take it. Obafemi's that dude looks fucking awesome.
He needs a new gimmick if he's going to be the main eventer. But yeah,
Fine, but he's cool. Bianca, Jay Cargill.
Something's
Yeah.
up with
We need-
Bianca. There's something off
Probably.
with her. She wasn't even in the Rumble, and then she was Adam's favorite to win it, and she wasn't even in the goddamn thing.
Well,
Maybe she's pregnant.
yeah, she could be pregnant.
Nah, she's not pregnant. Her hands fucked up. Her hands.
Okay, well then
she
that's
had
what it
her-
was.
Yeah, but she's been out for a fucking year for a broken fucking finger.
Maybe she was pregnant.
Maybe she has a broken finger and she's pregnant. Yay, wrestling.
That's right. I think Allison's right. I think that's what happened.
I like Allison's wrestling takes over Ryan and Jose's always.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Yeah.
But, hey, that was great.
Yeah,
ECW.
yeah. But yes,
I watched that.
I think you
recently.
need to have more black people main event these shows now. You need to put that culture in there.
So
I saw they finally, the one black writer they have, I heard, got elevated in the position. I'm tired of these boring white people, no culture running this show. That's why it's going to the ground.
So I would say, my question though is, we have Trick Williams, and I agree with you.
That dude fucking rocks.
But who else?
That's it.
Obafemi, who I just said to.
Obafemi
Carmelo
is not-
Hayes. I said
You need to stop. Carmelo Hayes and Obafemi.
I love
are
Carmelo
not it.
Hayes, but it's just
Who's
not
not?
him.
Javon Evans is awesome.
You need to stop. He is
He does the flippities and it's cool. I like watching flippities.
He is the next fucking Ricochet. All right.
I don't know enough about him, but I like what I saw. So
He's too
I'll
small.
Take that. Oh
Well,
well.
I mean, Ray was small.
Yeah, but that's different.
All right, if
Not
you want to
really.
go,
Ray's not getting no world title shots no more.
Oh,
If he
he's
gets
60 years old.
Yeah, but if he gets a title shot, it's just to put over someone else.
Because he's
He's not-
60.
But if anything, too, and I'll say one thing. No, with no disrespect to Cody, when Roman was on top, it was a more interesting product. Again, you got to put more culture into these shows, is what I'm saying. As I mentioned, nothing against Samoan people, but we need more than just the Samoan people. We need the Samoan people and more culture. I think that's fair, right?
I think we mostly just need not year-long, 10-month-long title reigns. No one's that interesting for that long. I mean, Roman was, but besides Roman, no one is that interesting for that long.
That's far from true, but all right.
All right, name another person.
Gunther.
No, I would say he was not interesting for that long.
You're so full of shit.
I think Gunther got more interesting when he lost the title.
Hey, man, listen, I do want to keep this going, but we do have to
Yeah, we
wrap
have
this
to end
up.
the show, yeah.
Jose, Ryan, Allison, great work as always. We'll see you all on Friday. See our Super Bowl preview, Super Bowl 60 preview on Friday as well. And check us out. We've been posting Super Bowl highlights for the last week and a half, and they've been great. By the time we're done, it's going to be about it's going to be half of them, and showing all the
Jets.
best ones. We even featured the one Jets. I basically
That's
split it
right.
up by how good the games were, and I featured like one main dynasty, like one Super Bowl, the best one that they were in, whether it's the Steelers of the 70s, Cowboys 70s. Anybody who has multiple Super Bowl wins, you will see your team in there.
Broadway Joe.
That was an interesting game.
Baltimore Colts. Take that.
They won. They did win. It's very interesting. You know, old football is a different breed, man.
Yeah.
I do not think people would put up with it, but actually, no, I take that back. I still think people will watch.
If you win,
love football.
they'll like it.
Yeah. All right.
Football.
You can say that again. All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.